When we need to prepare for a competitive event, our go-to company is the Army Painter.
Thanks to their complete range of paints, spray cans, and gaming tools, we're able to complete our new armies and units in no time.
When we need to elevate the quality of our models and terrain, the Army Painter is always our first choice.
You may not know this, but the Army Painter has sponsored more competitive events than any other hobby company.
Tournament wargaming is in their DNA.
Visit thearmypainter.com to learn more about their amazing products.
And use promo code AOWPaints for a 5% discount from your Army Painter purchases.
What are you waiting for? Discover the best way to prepare your models for events with the Army Painter today.
Why you should go to Warhammer 40k team events. That's what we're going to talk about. Team events are literally my favorite way of playing Warhammer. I've got so many on the schedule, and largely they're taking off all over the world in 2024, in America, in Canada, in Europe, and in other countries as well, I'm hoping. So we're going to try to maybe relieve some of the mystique of team tournaments, really explain what is a team tournament, why you should play in it, where the team tournaments are, when they are, and how you can get involved. Because I want Team Warhammer to pop off like the king that it is and basically just take over the world, because Team Warhammer is awesome. Now, singles Warhammer is also awesome, just more Warhammer more often, as they say. But if this is a whole new format, it's a real format, it's very competitive, it's very fun, it's very rewarding, so why not add more Warhammer is what I say. So what you're looking at right now is the National Tabletop League. And the National Tabletop League, for those of you who don't know, is a Warhammer team tournament league. Subscribe for that. Basically, this is an 18-month league, and we're going to get into how it works and what it is and all that. But you can see there's events all throughout North America. This includes America and Canada. So we are here. We are between March and April. We just started April. So the whole year is ahead of us, and there's events all throughout the country. So you're going to need to sign up so you can support your local TOs. But basically, we've got a variety of 8-person team events. Now, the way Teams Warhammer works is you grab 8 of your buddies and you go to a tournament and you create a team. You can be Team Art of War. You can't be, actually, that's taken, but you can be whatever team you want. And each of you is going to have to play a different faction. So if one of you is playing Space Marines, no one else can play Space Marines. It doesn't matter if you're Blood Angels or Dark Angels, you're just drawing units from the Space Marine Codex. Someone's playing Tyranids, no more Tyranids. Same thing with allies. If someone wants to ally 3 Nurglings into their Chaos Space Marine list, then you're not bringing a demon players. So there's a lot of cool stuff there because it's a little self-limiting. It really forces a diversified setup, and especially with 8-person teams as opposed to 5, which is a whole other type of team tournament as well, which pop off 5s. You really get to see some diversity in this comp. Now, here's another fun fact. There are times in Warhammer where Wraith Knights exist. There are times in Warhammer where Phantasm and double moving and something is broken. We've played this game. I've done it for 20 years. I know, everybody knows. There's no secret. Sometimes the game requires a little refinement and finesse, and the balanced data slate is a couple months away. So what can you do in the meantime? Enjoy Team Warhammer, because it doesn't matter if they have the broken Necron army with 18 rates. They have one of those, and probably so do you. And you don't even have to be that Necron player. You can play your sisters that you love. You can play your kind of not that great army that has some bad matchups, and singles that's a death sentence, because in teams you can pair. There's a whole pairings process, and it's basically about how your team compositely handles the round as opposed to any individual's performance. In these formats, you have 8 players or 5 players or 3 players, depending on the size of the teams. And basically, you're going to go back and forth, pairing one army goes out as a defender, 2 opposing armies go out as attackers. Of those 3 army options, 2 of them end up playing the game. And you kind of repeat that process through the whole way too until you have 8 matchups, 8 individual singles games. And then within those games, the margin of victory matters. So it doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or 20 or 50 points. Well, it does matter, that's a huge difference in score. And that is recognized in teams. So basically, if I barely win a game by 2 points, it's considered a draw. It's a 10-10 draw. If I blow somebody up by 45 points, that's a 19-1. So it's like a bit of a sliding scale up until the 0-20. 10-10 to 0-20 is the range here. So Without getting too deep and technical into all that stuff, there's just a whole new element to scoring and pairings, which adds another layer of complexity and strategy and ability to flex skill upon your opponents, and a lot of creative freedom in terms of list writing, because you can create huge skew weird lists that really wouldn't work in most singles events, but they have a really interesting place because they're so hard to handle for many armies. I'll give you a great example right now. Recently devised in the confines of the Germans has been their latest and greatest Grey Knight list, which is very simple. 5 Dread Knights, the Grandmaster and the regular in various data sheet forms, Canis Rex allied in, and multiple solo Grey Knight Librarians. There's no Terminators, there's no balance here. It's a very specific, hyper-focused attacker, and it's just a really cool, neat, interesting thing that you wouldn't normally see in tournaments, and there's a lot of those types of lists that you can really explore and delve into. But it's not all spammy nonsense. My sisters are like the most balanced Battle for Sisters army you can make, because someone has to be able to go play against that, and rather than playing rock, paper, scissors, you want some consistency in your life. And different players can fall into their different roles of like being a reactionary defender player, being the kind of player who steps on your throat. It's a really rewarding way to play Warhammer in a way that actually aligns with your play style as well as the way you want to composite an army. So that's super cool. But enough about that. Let's talk about the actual events and how you can get involved. So first, we've got the ATC in Tennessee. Then the one Art of War is going to be at. I have 3 events in the calendar. I'm going to show you that as well. But we'll be in Newark for the Battle for Salvation, some of my old stomping grounds. I love that place. But then we've got tournaments in Ottawa, Canada, May and June. We've got 2 different ones in Ottawa. We've got the NATC, North American Team Championships, in July. We've got another event in Olympia, Washington in August, St. Louis, Missouri in August, Gateway Open, the Away Games Open in, why is it so hard to read, Cartridge, North Carolina. Then we've got Stud and Snotlings up in Canada. We've got another event down here in Tampa in November, the Onslaught Gaming Tournament. They're actually running a smaller 5-person team tournament this coming month, and we'll be in attendance as that. Tampa's not too far from the Art of War stream team. Then we've got Denver, Colorado has a big one in December. Up in 2025, we've got the ATC coming up again. We've got another one in Spokane, Washington. We've got Battle for Salvation making a second run in White Plains, New York. Ottawa, Canada again. Tundra Tactics, a Warhammer team, a rival of Art of War, is coming up with their own 8-person team tournament in June in Madison, Wisconsin. We're showing up to that. And then another Ottawa, Canada event. So you can see all over the Northeast, or the North American region, all these team tournaments are popping up. And this concludes into the NATC Finals, which is basically the championship for this entire league. So let's go into kind of how it works in the format. There's basically an ELO ranking system, so you and your team, as you perform throughout the year, throughout the different events, you get ranked on your ELO ratings, and that's going to allow you to get invited to the finale based on how you are. So that's going to be invitation only, and I'm sure there's going to be some awesome prizes by that. You can see Army Painter, one of our sponsors, is also a big sponsor for the the National Tabletop League. In terms of terrain, the terrain is largely provided by Away Games, but you can, of course, if you're in your own event runner, you have your terrain, use your own. Away Games is another one of our sponsors. They have 2 different map packs, one with measurements and one without measurements. But you know what's really exciting? You can also buy the terrain. What does the terrain look like? It's actually quite literally the Art of War design terrain. This is pictures I took in my house with these models. It's amazing. We got dimensions, we got measurements on the other pack. These are literally the 4 Games Workshop layouts, because we want to try to align ourselves with Games Workshop as event runners or event organizers in any capacity. So if they believe the game should be played with these elements of terrain in these places, then we're not here to argue with that. So we're basically, the first 4 layouts are copy pastes of the Games Workshop layouts, just laid out with our terrain that we had at home. And this is the terrain sets that OE Games provided us, the sponsor of the events. These are the terrain elements you will see at these tournaments. Then we've got 4 other layouts, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are, again, just more variations of the Games Workshop open format terrain. The same exact elements, just rearranged in different ways. And the cool thing about how this format tournament works is that different players get to pick their tables as part of the pairings process. So not only are you trying to figure out what your matchup is within the context of your 8 armies versus your opponent's 8 armies, but you're also going to pick what table is you're playing on as an element of strategy. So some armies on layout number 1, which we like to call Thunderdome here because it has a giant segment of line of sight blocking terrain surrounding the center objective. This is a great place for like world leaders to stage their army in the midfield, be pretty immune to shooting, and then they just charge wherever they want. Alternatively, you look down on table 2, the Dawn of War layout, we've got very little terrain covering any of the objectives. So it's going to be a bit of a killing field for our more shooty based army. That's just an example of some of the terrain and the tactics that go into teams format, where as opposed to singles, you just play the board you're given. But here we go into the 3 tournaments that I have coming up on the agenda for the Art of War team, in case anyone wants to say hi. I also would love to just shout out the amazing tournament organizers doing all 3 of these because they're big fans of all of them. We've got Battle Ready War Games Team Turmoil in Valdosta, Georgia. Art of War will be sending a team. I'm not going to be playing on that one, unfortunately, but Robert Dennings is an amazing TO in the Georgia Southeast region. He really gives back to the community in a lot of ways. Want to give him an awesome shout out. So he's running a 5-rounder. These are 5-person team events. The first one of these, so you know, not quite the 8-person, but still a 5-person. Awesome, lot of baby stepping into the format there, and I love it. You know, anything to get the community going. Then over here we got the Battle for Salvation Team Championship. Art of War in full force will be at that one. I will be there. John will be there. Jack will be there. Siegs will be there. Quentin will be there. You know, the whole gang, plus 3 more Art of War coaches or team members. And we're going to be playing in the Battle for Salvation Team Championship against some really tough competition. Golden tickets will be on the line. This will be a good time up in New York. And then we've got the ATC Florida. This is part of the American Team Championship circuit. This is a 5-person event. It's hosted by Away Games. Away Games is the terrain sponsor. JD does an amazing job driving around the country from tournament to tournament to tournament, trying to get all the terrain up to a really high quality standard, you know, worldwide, countrywide. It's really amazing. So we'll be at that one as well in full force. But maybe you're not playing in America and you don't have the influx of team tournaments that have just arrived on the scene. Fret not, Europeans, I've got you covered. We've got a website called Tourneykeeper. This is literally what it looks like, tourneykeeper.net. I'm not logged in, I got nothing going on. And all you do here is essentially you've got tournaments that are playing now on the left-hand side and tournaments that are upcoming on the right-hand side. And you can search by country. I've searched to all countries. And you can search by game system. I've set it to Warhammer 40K because you know what this channel's about. Subscribe for that, folks. Wait, the button didn't work. Why didn't the button work? Subscribe for that, folks. Yay, we did it. We did it. Subscribe for that. Like, leave a comment, you know. How do we not? How do we not? We got technology working here. So anyway, with a lot of tournaments, you'll see a lot in Poland. This is a very popular website in Poland, but you know, I know how Europe works. You guys are also close to each other from my American perspective. So you can just hop on a train or a plane and get right on over. There are some team events here. We've got a team tournament in Denmark on April 13th. And look how many tournaments there are, I might add. We're like halfway through the page. We're on April 13th. That's in like a week. Another team tournament down here, April 20th. This one's in Poland. Another team tournament in the UK, June 8th. Another team tournament, September 7th, War of the Red Dragon. So a lot of team tournaments coming up worldwide, all through the world, basically. And all this for me personally is a means to an end because I'm going to be going to the World Team Championship, hopefully competing as a player for Team America. We'll find out towards the end of the month who actually is playing on that roster, but nonetheless I will be there as a support member at the minimum, and I'm super excited, super proud that Team America or team events in general is really transforming into the thing that we've wanted it to be for so long, you know, this like actually world accepted format, because it is so fun, it is so inviting. The reasons you should play, aside from the format being awesome and allowing for army diversity, is that it's, at the end of the day, it's a game, it's a match where you're playing with your friends, you're traveling with your friends, you're experiencing Warhammer with your friends, like you're close to. You're not frenemies where you're rivals within the tournament. If you play each other, you're trying to beat each other. You are just on the same team. And your wins, your losses, the point scrapping, it all matters. We've all been there where we've lost round 1 of a tournament, round 2 of a tournament, and we're like, oh, my weekend, I'm not going to win this tournament. I'm not going to, I'm just playing for funsies now. Get that mindset out of here. When you're playing on teams, every point matters. And not even to the point where if your team loses a round, your team is out of the contention. We have won the World Team Championships with a loss, I tell you. It happens. It really happens. Draws are so much more common in the team format. The way the match point system works is it's so much more feisty, close, like competitive. Truly, it's not someone gets the edge in a singles game and then they just carry the victory early and then it's over, whole tournament shot. No, like everything matters, and it makes the whole experience so much more exhilarating and fun and all that stuff. So please try out some Team 40K, even if you're not able to travel to one of these big tournaments, even if you can't get a group of 8 friends going, at your local scenes, get your local TOs involved, let them know this is going on, and basically try your damnedest to get some local scenes going. I know when I was starting out with Team 4 tournaments, my local RTT store, I had like 15 minutes from my house. I'd drive over there, I'd literally organize events myself and have 3-person teams. We get like 18 players to show up, we a round robin of 6 teams go. Like, just give the format a try. It is so fun. You can get the full details and rules for the team tournaments on the nationaltabletopleague.com. It's got all the info you could possibly need. One more time, folks, like and subscribe for the Emperor. There it is. Hey, everybody. So yeah, and also check out the War Room. That's where we teach all kinds of team content to help you actually get better about the teams. The War Room is where we have all our subscription area content and our private member stuff, like for our Discord. But man, is there so much content in there, and now we're getting team centric. So we're getting not only will you learn about singles and the matchups and the tournaments and all this and that, you will also learn about how to do the pairings process, how to design team compositions, and all that good stuff. So check that out in the War Room. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you later.